Hi, I'm Jeremy, and welcome to another episode of Practical IT. In today's episode, we're going to go through an install of the newly released Ubuntu 18.04 LTS, which this time around they have removed Unity from the default install and they are using a customized Gnome interface. Alright, I have already set up the base information for our virtual machine. So we are going to run through settings real quick, because the one thing I need to add is the ISO file. So we'll go to storage, click on the optical drive empty icon, and then click on the same icon over on the right hand side. And we're going to choose virtual optical disk file. And we're going to look at what we've got here. Ubuntu 18.04 desktop AMD 64 ISO. We'll open that. And we'll just take a look at other settings that I've put in. Advanced I left alone. Description, I've got nothing in there currently. I've got the optical drive and hard drive for boot order. I gave it 4 gigs of RAM. I gave it 2 CPU cores, 64 megs of video with 3D acceleration turned on. Storage we've already looked at. Audio is turned on. Networking is bridged. And everything else I've left alone. So we will go ahead and start our VM. And this should just take a moment to really get started and kicked off. Alright, we're going to install Ubuntu. And I'm going to go ahead and speed up through this process, and I'll come back with more commentary on the other side. And we'll go ahead and restart. Alright, we're presented with our login screen. on our user and enter our password. And we've got our new Gnome desktop running on a fresh 18.04 LTS Ubuntu install. Right off the bat, we are presented with a what's new in Ubuntu. And so again, we've got our activities window switcher up here at the top, the application menu, clock and calendar, system menu, we've got the launcher on the left hand side and the app button, and then the close button is on the right hand side of the windows. New feature is live patching. Normally you would have to restart the computer to add a new version of the Linux kernel to your system. This allows that to happen while the system is running. Generally, this is more useful on a server than on a desktop, but why not? And we're going to skip setup on that for right now. Help improve Ubuntu. Whether you or not you want to send your information to Canonical for diagnostic purposes, I'm going to leave that set to yes, since this is just a VM. And we're ready to go. So we'll click done, and we'll poke around a little bit. So down the bottom left, we've got our application launcher, which brings up a full window list of applications. Icon view, very similar to the previous Unity versions on past versions of Ubuntu. Hit escape to get out of that. Our activities menu brings up our launcher where we could type the name of the application. Type in Firefox or just Fire, it'll bring up Firefox, and a list of other items that start with the word Fire. Again, this will take a moment to launch since it's the first time and it's running in a VM. We'll go ahead and close that. Alright, in the center we've got our day and time. We click on that, we got notifications, and then we've got a full calendar on the right hand side. Over to the right, networking. Actually, these are all kind of combined. You click on one and it's a drop down menu here. We've got our wired networking. We've got our user menu for log out and account settings. We've got our system settings, the lock to lock the screen, power to shut down or reboot. Let's take a look at the system settings real quick. This has been changed and improved. And blow that up full size. So Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, background. So you can change the background on both the desktop and the lock screen. And they actually have some pretty impressive backgrounds included by default. Let's see, we'll do no pictures. That would be if you had pictures of your own loaded on the computer. Go back to wallpapers, scroll through these a little bit. Guess that's it on the default install. This one is kind of cool here. And then we'll set that for the lock screen. The dock, you can change the size of the icons, which would give you a little more space for additional icons and obviously a little more desktop space. I think 30 looks good. The option to auto hide the dock, and then you can change the location or position on screen of your dock to bottom or right. I think I'll leave it on the left hand side. Got notifications. If you don't want notification pop-ups, which I kind of find annoying, turn that off. Notifications on the lock screen is fine. Applications, these are all turned on by default. Banner designer, interesting. Search, settings for that, what you want to be able to search. Region and language. Universal applications. Previously, I believe that was called accessibility. Online accounts. Different options there. Nextcloud I see is featured. Microsoft account. If you want to connect with OneDrive, your Google account for G Drive. Ubuntu single sign-on. Privacy. Lock screen, location, services. All this good stuff. Sharing. So your on off is up here in the top. We turn that on. Turn screen sharing on. Won't mess with that too much right now. That'll be video for another day, going into that specifically. Sound. Generally, the defaults are good. Power, which is more useful if you're on a laptop, but you may want to blink the screen. On this one, I'm going to select never because it's a VM. Automatic suspend is off. You got networking here, which you can change. This is set up connected bridge to my it's connected bridge to my Ethernet adapter, so it's getting full gigabit. You can also add additional adapters and do other fun networking stuff. Displays, it's saying this is a VirtualBox display. Orientation is landscape. 1980 by 1014 is the resolution. 1880 by 1014 is the resolution. Scale, this is more useful if you're using a 4K or higher display. Night light mode, let's go ahead and set that to sunset to sunrise is good. Keyboard, set up shortcuts in here, which can be very useful if you use Ubuntu day to day. Then you may want to set some personalized keyboard shortcuts. My personal thought on this is I generally tend to leave things pretty much alone because I don't want to get so reliant on my personal settings that I can't sit down in front of somebody else's computer and start using it quickly. Mouse and touchpad. Again, I leave that alone. Mouse speed seems to be fine right now. Printers. Add a printer. I actually really like the way Canonical has implemented this in Ubuntu, because it'll actually search your network, find your network printer, and allow you to add it without going through any hoops to download and install software. It just finds it and throws it out there for you, which I think is a very nice feature. Removable media. I like having these all set to ask what to do. And the tablet, drawing tablet, I don't have one, so that's not available. And color. Give you some profile stuff you can play with, and for the printer as well. I'll jump back here, and then details is the last one, and that gives us the device name, the amount of memory available, the processor, the graphics, the interface, version of Gnome, OS type, virtualization. I like that it actually picks up that it is running in VirtualBox, just lists it as Oracle, and how much disk space you have left. You also get date and time settings, users, and default applications. So if you're going to use Ubuntu as your daily driver, you should really get familiar with the settings. If you're coming from a Windows or Mac environment, this is equivalent to Control Panel or the new Settings app on Windows, and it's equivalent to the System Preferences on the Mac. So go ahead and close that up, and we will wrap this up for now. We will come back in another video and talk about customizing and adding things to the newly installed Ubuntu. We'll go through updates in another video. So this is Jeremy signing off for Practical IT. If you like this video, please hit the like button, leave comments below, and if you'd like to have updates, you can click on the bell icon, and hopefully YouTube will send you updates. On that note, have a great day. Thank you for watching.